Today we're going to go ahead and remake from scratch Travis Scott's STP interlude. The track is produced by Ricci Riera, and the track samples Animated Ambition by The Mind, Jesse Boykins III, No Name, and Mick Jenkins. And it also samples You and I by Washed Out, which is the sample we're going to use to start off this remake. So I'm going to go ahead and change our keep mode over here on our tempo to automatic mode, just so that when we bring in the sample, it's going to automatically detect the sample's tempo. So I'm going to go ahead and drag that song in right here. Logic will do its thing and analyze it, and it's going to get it lined up perfectly for us, hopefully. So this is the part that we're going to sample. It's literally just the beginning, the first 8 bars of the track, and it goes like this. That first half. So now let's go and chop up that sample. I'm just going to chop it up on the 8th bar right over here. And what I'm going to do here is just bounce that in place, just so that we have a audio bounce down of that sample. But before we go and change the sessions tempo to SDP interludes tempo, we got to make sure that our sample right here is has flex mode turned on, so that when we change the tempo, it's going to automatically keep it in time. Now what we can do is change our transport from, or our tempo from auto to keep. And I'm going to go over to 108 beats per minute, which is the tempo for SDP interlude, except I can't right now. So I got to delete all this multiple tempo inputs, and let's just change this to 108. All right, so now that we got our sample chopped up, let's go ahead and pitch it up 4 semitones to match the one in the track. Now in the original track, this section right here, this 2 bars gets replaced with this 2 bars first. So we got to go ahead and chop that up as well. So let's take this, move it back here, this, move it back here, and now we're good to go. And then all I'm going to do is just put a little bit of a crossfade here just to blend it a little bit better. And then we get to the effects that was applied to this sample. In my opinion, this is what makes this track the track. The first thing we're going to do here is open up EQ, and we're going to push up the bass, or the low end. And that's going to increase the gain as well. So I'm going to turn down the gain in a moment. And then over here, I'm just going to take a little bit of the top end out as well. Just a little bit. So we are clipping on the sample. So I'm going to go ahead and just bring this down a couple dBs here. Maybe a little less. Let's go -7. All right, and then to make it a little bit brighter sounding like in the original track, I'm going to bring in an instance of I'm a Music Mogul's Yours Truly Wavy. And I'm just going to use the vivid function just to make it a little bit brighter. Just pulls that out a little bit. And then last but not least, we're going to bring in a flanger. We're going to go to modulation flanger. We're going to go to a preset called High Spheres. And we're just going to go leave that preset with a mix at 20%. Now in the original track, it sounds like there's some like high pass sweeping going on in the background. We're going to apply that later. First, let's get to that pumping effect. I'm not going to use any third-party plugins to get that effect, like Cable Guys, Shaperbox, or anything like that. We're just going to do it manually using automation, and it's really easy. All we're going to do is automate the volume. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw in a couple points here, and I'm just going to make sure I'm lined up. So for every 2 measures, 2 beats, we're going to go like this. It's going to be up, down, up, and then it's going to go down. So this is going to come back to this right here. So we're going to get this effect. Except let's bring this down to 0. And now all we got to do is copy that automation. So we're just going to select all of our automation points, hit Command C to copy, and we're just going to copy that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to copy it for the entire sample. All right, until we reach the end, just like that. And now you're getting that effect right there, except at the end, at every 2 bars, we're just gonna go ahead and bring this down because there's like a pause. Let's go 2 bars and bring this one down. There's a pause. And I think the pause happens here as well. And then here as well. So it plays out and we get a little bit of a pause. right, so that's how you do the sample. I'm not sure if the volume automation is exactly like the original, but it sounds pretty close. Next, what we gotta do here is bring in the drum kit. I'm gonna go ahead and go to my patches drum kits, and I made a drum kit for this tutorial called the SDP interlude drum kit. We'll start off with something easy like the snare. Next, let's go ahead and draw in the hi-hat pattern. We're gonna add in a note repeat here just so we get a roll. Here's repeat right here, just 2 on every single one of these. And then we'll continue our hi-hat pattern. All right, next let's go ahead and draw in our kick pattern. We're gonna go over to here and create a pattern region. This one is gonna be 64 steps long. All right, now let's get to the bass line. I'm going to bring in Logic's ES1 synthesizer, and we're going to bring it in mono mode because it is a bass. And we're going to start off from a preset. The preset can be found under synth bass, old school bass. We're going to adjust this in a moment. Let's just go ahead and close that out and draw in the pattern. All right, so there's the bass pattern right there. Let's just open up Logic's ES1 and just bring down the resonance a little bit. Doesn't need to be so annoying, if you will. Bring up the release a bit. And that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna go ahead and repeat this over the full 8 bars. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and just duplicate this over. I'm gonna copy all of the automation, and the bass is going to come out and an 808 is going to come in. So I'm just gonna take my bass patterns over here and bring that up, and it's gonna sound like this. Except I'm gonna pitch this down 1 octave. All right, so that 808 is not quite there. We're gonna have to bring in a big crusher to give it that ringing sound that the original track had. So on my 808, I'm gonna go ahead and bring in distortion bit crusher. And this is what we're gonna do here. We're gonna bring up the resolution to about 10 bits. Now you're getting that crunchy sound. Let's go ahead and down sample a couple times here. Get that ring again. I'm just gonna bring the drive down. It doesn't have to be so aggressive. There's our 808. That's pretty much the beat right there, or at least the foundational part of the beat in my opinion. Everything else that surrounds this is pretty much samples from the 2 tracks that I've listed. So we're not going to get into that. I just want to show you this main part in case you want to get this type of sound in your beats, especially what we've done on the sample right over here. So let's go ahead and take a listen to it from the top. Right there is the remake to Travis Scott's SDP interlude. If you use Logic, I'm going to go ahead and save this entire session for you, place it as a downloadable link below this video. If you don't use Logic, I got your back as well. I'm going to go export all the MIDI stems, audio stems, and of course include the drum kit that you heard in this video. I'll place that playback down below the like button as well. But other than that, if you do have questions on this, let's go and chat in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Later. Peace.